N for negotiation. The number one thing is whenever you go into a negotiation, before you start negotiating, have a clear idea of what your ideal outcome will be. That's if everything goes to plan and you get everything that you want in the negotiation, then what's your ideal outcome? But also have an idea of what's your walkaway point. Because in any negotiation, both parties are going to be asked to give some kind of concession. So if you're going to give concessions, then at what point do you draw the line? Where's your line in the sand and your walkaway point? Now, never underestimate the power of your walkaway point. Your walkaway point is what gives you the leverage in a negotiation. It's the bit that says, enough's enough, I'm not doing anymore, and you really test whether the other person wants to do business with you or not. Some other key points for you to take into account and to think about when we're talking about concessions is whenever you make a concession, then make your concessions in small increments and always justify why you made that concession. So for example, if you're selling a product that is, I don't know, let's say £500 and somebody says, it's too much. Don't then say, well, okay, I tell you what, I'll do it for 425 without giving any justification for that £75 movement. Because basically all you're saying is, well, I was going to get it for 500, but now you've asked, you can have another £75. All that will do is give people the confidence to ask for more. And if you move again without justification, they'll ask for more and ask for more. And the most frustrating thing about that is when they get to a point where you think you've done as much as you can and you're not going to give any more, they don't believe you. And they'll go away and think about it. So don't make big percentage swings. Don't give big concessions, and never give a concession without justification. There has to be a reason for why you give the concession. And normally, my advice in a negotiation is if you're going to give a concession, then you're asking for something in return from the other person. So if you could do this, we might be able to do that. If you didn't want this bit, then we could do that for you. Always understand your product or your service enough that you can justify your movement in price. Okay, and whilst we're talking about making concessions and movement in price, here's my final piece for you. Piece of advice that I was given many, many years ago that served me well. And it's this: the harder they work for the less they get, the better they feel. And when you think about the psychology of negotiation, just bear that in mind. The harder they work for the less they get, the better they feel. If you make people work really, really hard for your small incremental concessions and you justify them, and they have to work hard, then actually when you get to the point and say there is no more, they will believe you, and they will also feel as though they've pushed you really, really hard. So don't give concessions easily. Don't give them without justification. Always understand where your walkaway point is. And most importantly, when you go into a negotiation, understand what your outcome is. Okay, so there's some tips on negotiation for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be the letter O. So speak to you soon. Cheers. So if you've got any questions around negotiation, how you set up your negotiation, how you conduct your negotiation, if there are any key things that you'd like some help or support with, or would like my views on, pop them in the box below and I'll more than happily come back to you and see if I can help. So look forward to helping you. Let's see what you think.